Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar, The Future Trends for Digital Job Creation, sponsored by Adrian Kenya. We are really excited to have each of you join this webinar. My name is Agnes Mudhoni, and I am the Director of Talent Partnerships at Andela, where I focus on running skills development programs across Africa that equip learners with employable technology skill sets and give them access to job opportunities. We have a great lineup of industry leaders and experts on this topic of digital job creation who have joined me today as panelists for this webinar. So let me go ahead and proceed to introduce them. We have Nelly Gyamfi. And Nelly, I hope I have said your name correctly, although I know you've already told me how to say it, so apologies if I have not said it correctly. But Nelly is the country director of Moringa School, which is a startup learning accelerator. Once again, congratulations, Nelly, on your appointment as country director. Nelly has spent her career, you're welcome. Nelly has spent her career working in different educational contexts with different demographics, ranging from toddlers to company executives. She's passionate about unlocking human potential through the provision of quality and effective educational experiences, and has spent the last 6 years building and growing programs and educational institutions to enable this. Nelly is particularly excited about the opportunity that technology presents for the future of work and is working with Moringa School to build talent and opportunities through transformative tech-based learning experiences. Welcome, Nelly, to this webinar.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And next we have Perminus Wainaina, who is an HR practitioner with extensive depth and breadth of experience in human resources and finance. In the last 7 years, he has worked as the CEO and managing partner at Corporate Staffing Services Limited, which is an HR consulting firm accredited by IHRM, where he manages a team of 25. In his capacity, he has consulted mainly for the private sector, focusing on HR areas like organizational review, HR audit, recruitment training, performance management. He is also a part-time lecturer at the Institute of the Human Resource Management for the certified HR consultant courses. Wonderful to have you on this webinar, and we're really looking forward to hearing your insights. Welcome, Perminus.
Thank you, Agnes, and nice to meet everyone.
And then last but certainly not least, we have Benson Gichuru, also goes by Benson Kinoti. Benson is the Developer Relations Project Manager at Google. Benson is a self-motivated tech professional who is passionate about transformations that are catalyzed by technology. Benson holds great experience, knowledge, and skills in various technologies and has designed and implemented transformative solutions across various African countries. His passion and knowledge have seen him work at leading organizations such as the Kenyan government, Microsoft, Intel Corporation, and now with Google, where he leads software developer trainings for Google technologies across Africa. In his own words, Benson says that we are lucky to be alive in an era where the power of technology is limitless, but luckier that we have every power to shape technology. I have worked with Benson personally, and I can definitely attest to his passion for technology and his relentless pursuit to unlocking potential across the continent. In his free time, you will catch Sir B, as he is known by many, listening to music and reading a book or writing software code. A very warm welcome to you, Benson.
Thank you, Agnes. Thank you all for having me.
You're welcome. All right, so during our discussion today, we are going to be talking about the growing need for digital and tech talent on the continent. Particularly over the last few months during the pandemic, we have seen an increasing number of organizations that are migrating their businesses online. So now more than ever, we definitely need these skill sets. It is widely known that Africa faces a digital skills gap. But the last few months have thrown into sharp focus the digital divide and the need to build digital skills to create a pathway for employment opportunities. It is estimated that 230 million jobs on the continent will require some level of digital skills by 2030. Now, much of that demand for digital skills will emanate from generic occupations across a broad range of tech and non-tech sectors, whether it is the Ethiopian farmer or Kenyan factory worker or Rwandan entrepreneur. Mastery of digital skills will increasingly be a determinant of Africa's success. So today, the panelists that we have here who are thought leaders and experts in this specific area will be responding to how we can democratize digital skill sets and what signals and trends they are seeing on the demand side. And so I'm going to start off with asking questions to the panelists who will then be responding to these questions. And then after that, then we will go ahead and open it to Q&A, where we'll then be able to hear some of the questions that our participants have. So to start off with, I'm going to be asking a question to Perminus and Benson. According to a 2018 WEF World Economic Forum report, in the next 2 years, there will be a net positive outlook on jobs amidst significant disruption. In your view, is this data point reflective of what we're seeing in Kenya? And what are some of the new jobs that are emerging that have not existed in the past? And so I'll maybe just start off with Benson and then move over to Perminus.
So you're right, the World Economic Forum report for 2018, I would say could not have been more accurate. But then we've since then seen reports that are reflective or give us the same type of thinking. And the latest of that I'd love to mention is the Africa Internet Economy report that Google launched yesterday in partnership with the International Finance Corporation. So the simple answer is yes. These data points are very, very reflective of what I see in Africa, and even in more specific, what I see in Kenya as well. And if I may add to that, they are definitely informed by a couple of factors. And these are factors such as the youthful human capital that we have, the penetration of internet that we have in the continent, and even in specific in Kenya, the innovative culture that we have in Kenya, and so on and so forth. So if I may quickly take you through the landscape of how I see a software developer ecosystem looking in Kenya. First off, in Africa, we have roughly 700,000 active software developers. And I'm speaking to software developers in this example because they are integral part of spurring change or bringing about innovation. So out of the 700,000 active software developers, we have 60,000 of them, based here in Kenya, for example. And an average profile of a software developer would be someone in their mid-20s in their age, and passionately working every day to solve a challenge for our own challenge, to give us a solution for our own challenges here in Kenya. So that in itself is an integral ingredient that shows that there's going to be significant disruption in Kenya, in the south.
Great, thank you for that question, Agnes. However, I don't share I'm not very optimistic in terms of the figures that have been shared, and mainly because for me, I'm looking at it at a broader level, the economic, from the broader macroeconomic level. I want to share with you some numbers. Last year, according to the Ministry of Finance here in Kenya, there were only 843,000 jobs which were created. And out of those, the ones which were created in the formal sector accounted to only 75,000. Then when you look at the unemployed youths who are between 15 to 34 years, we are talking about more than 2.3 million unemployed youth. So you find most of the people currently entering the labor market, they are absorbed in the informal sector. And the informal sector is a sector which is characterized by irregular income stream. There's no stability, and that's a big challenge, especially for the youth. And also considering also the exodus of the youth, from the rural areas to the cities. So that goes to further strain the urban labor market. However, that's not to say that it's all industries which are affected. No, not at all. If you look at the ICT industry, it's definitely doing well. So I believe that's where Benson could be coming from. And yeah, so there's some growth sectors, but in terms of the economy as a whole, it's really a depressed market. And I'm not looking at these improving in the next 2 to 3 years. COVID hasn't made things any simpler. Before COVID, here at corporate staffing, we'll be able to recruit for between 90 to 120 positions a month. But now that has dropped by 50%. So as of today, our statistics here at corporate staffing for the month of October, we only had 45 recruitments against, 90 to 120 before COVID. So that's what we are working with currently. In terms of making sure that we create jobs for the youth, opportunities, I think there are some initiatives that we've seen government taking up. Some of these initiatives include investing in the infrastructure. We have the SGR. There's all these plans even to modernize Nairobi city, ease of access for transport. Then there's also that plan or idea of improving the business climate. Someone can come and register their business, and within 2 or 3 days, they're able to have in terms of the legal documentation, they're able to have something to showcase. But I think what you really change is supporting the SMEs. That will really spur the economy in terms of job creation. In terms of the emerging jobs, I'll reference back to the data we have at corporate staffing. For the last 3 years, these are the jobs that I would say are in the demand, especially, and all of them are they're technology driven. Case in point, we have software engineer, application developer, digital marketers, business analysts, security analysts, and jobs to do with AI. The only jobs which are really not technology driven would be the area of agribusiness. That's the outlier I've seen in terms of new growth opportunities. So yes, for some sectors, there's clearly the numbers do speak to the growth, and that's where ICT would fall in. But in terms of the overall economy, we are not yet out of the woods.
From the perspective that I am seeing this from is when we talk of new roles and emerging roles in the future, we're talking about not necessarily the jobs that you will formally get employed, but also considering the innovators who are out there, innovating not specifically for ICT, but across all sectors. And I'm happy that Perminus has mentioned tech jobs such as AI specialists. We're also seeing a lot of DevOps engineers, digital marketers have come up. In different models, we are now talking of talent acquisition specialists. We're talking about customer success specialists spanning across. But when you look at the various technologies that are right now currently being introduced in the country and across Africa, such as AI, such as that's artificial intelligence, ML, machine learning, virtual reality, where we have some young guys doing some fantastic work with virtual reality, augmented reality, gaming. And most of these developers and designers are not only developing for our market, but even for the outside market. And most of the people who are working with data, for example, are not only employed to work with data within Kenya, but across different, different countries in the continent. So I come from a school of thought where I see the innovations and the specializations that are currently taking place within IT, opening up jobs not only for IT, as Perminus has mentioned, but across other sectors. You remember when M-Pesa started, it was a good innovation, came in place, but now we're talking about our whole ecosystem of M-Pesa agents. Now we have Twiga, for example, relating to agri, what is mentioned yet again. Twiga Foods that has come up with a disruptor in the agro in the agrotech, but most jobs are actually not quantifiable to office jobs. We have people who are sorting foods in different factories and so on and so forth. Speaking to COVID situation as we are right now, look at what Copia is doing, distributing retail stuff. Look at Glovo, for example. Have we quantified the number of self-employed motorcycle riders? So that's the type of impact that we might not be able to quantify as office work, but looking at what IT has spurred or initiated, we see a lot of trickle-down effect and a lot of roles coming up. So that's what I have from my side.